What's going on, film fans? Welcome back to our channel. This is The Usual Skeptics. Here we talk about entertainment news, movie reviews, news, all that kind of good stuff. Entertainment goodness. With me, as always, Wesley Rathbone. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, my friend. We've got a lot of good stuff for you guys today. So, Gabe, let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, guys, here we go. We're just going to be talking about a few things today. Nothing too crazy, but there are some topics that I feel like we should talk about. I feel like it's going to be fun. So, you're a fan of Speed Racer. We used to watch the cartoons as a kid. I thought it was a pretty fun premise, pretty fun idea. A kid running around in a awesome Hot Wheel is basically how I interpret it. We got some news now. Now there was a movie that came out several years back that really didn't do too good at the box office. It actually flopped, and I think it was made by the Wachowskis. Which, look, other than the Matrix movies, say what you want about Matrix 2 and 3, I actually had a blast with those two sequels. 3, I mean, not so much. I mean, there were some fun elements there, but Jupiter Ascending, not so much. Did not like that one at all. Speed Racer was another one that kind of came and went. Visually, though, looked fantastic. And so we've been kind of hearing rumors and speculation about a Speed Racer, another live action Speed Racer in development. Well, we got our first details about that. Variety is reporting that a Speed Racer live action series is in the works at Apple Apple Plus, with J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot producing. So we got here, we're just going to read through this a little bit. A Speed Racer live action series is in the works at Apple, with J.J. Abrams on board as an executive producer, Variety has learned. Apple has given the project, which has been in the works for a considerable amount of time. Well, I wonder why. The last film flopped and lost tens of millions at the box office. So yes, it has took a considerable amount of time. But it did get a series order with Ron Fitzgerald and Hiram Martinez. If I'm mispronouncing that, I do apologize. They are attached to write and produce as well, in addition to serving as co-showrunners. So they're basically going to be in charge, is basically what this is saying. Now, according to the report, there's no director or anything, but they are writing. Fitzgerald has been known to write, I believe, some of Westworld, which I watched the first season, thought it was okay, fell off for me, but has its fan base. So he's obviously a talented filmmaker, along with Hiram Martinez. Got a few names attached to his belt as well. So Speed Racer, if y'all do not know, back in the olden days when it played on Saturday morning cartoons, follows the adventure of auto racer Speed Racer in his souped up car. Like I said, basically a Hot Wheel. The Mach 5, his team consists of his father and car builder, Pops Racer, original, right? His little brother, Sprittle, and his pet chimpanzee, Chim Chim, and Speed's girlfriend Trixie. Speed also frequently crosses paths with mysterious Racer X, who is secretly Speed's older brother, Rex Racer. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, it kind of gives you a little general idea about everything. Wes, I'm going to send it to you. What do you think about this news, man? What do you feel like? I mean, does this seem something that you feel like is time for them to kind of delve back into, as far as a production company such as, Apple taking on this project? Is this something you see is going to do well for audiences? What do you think?
Okay, so I agree. The old film that I've seen, I only seen once, and I know we talked about this. Like, I only seen it once. Really wasn't impressed with that, but I did watch it as a kid, and I loved the cartoon. I also love most of J.J. Abrams as a whole, and I think that if somebody can do it, I think that J.J. Abrams can take it and make it the Speed Racer that I think that people are going to want and that people are going to watch. Good storyteller. I mean, you've got Lost that he's done. You've got all these different great shows that he's done, that I really think that in the long run, as long as it's done right, it's the right time. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen Speed Racer. I think it kind of fell off everybody's radar. And whenever this came about, I was sort of like, okay, like if I was going to pick somebody to do it, I think that he could be the one to do it. And that's my personal opinion. I think that he puts out great things. I do really like the fact that Apple's trying new things, you know what I mean, and trying to get it to work, you know what I mean. Right. So and not trying to they're trying to capitalize just like every other streaming company out there, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So to your point, I do believe that I'm very intrigued. I'll say intrigued right now. So, um, that's my opinion, and it is what it is. But I'm intrigued. I'll watch it, and I always give series, anything that's a series, I give it 3 episodes just to see if I'm gonna
Yeah.
either like it or not like it. That's just my personal thing. That's just how I go. So,
Right.
what do you think, though?
Oh God. So my thing about Speed Racer is, I didn't really get on board with Speed Racer a lot. I mean, I've watched the cartoon, I see it here and there. I'm not a big, thespian, when it comes to Speed Racer mythology. I have no idea. I don't remember much about the cartoon. But that picture, in the Variety article, certainly, everyone knows what it is. I mean, it's kind of like I'm not saying they're as prominent as a, Batman or Spider-Man, but if you show someone, people around our age group, this picture of Speedy Boy here, anyone, I would say 8 times out of 10, they would get it right with, oh, that's Speed Racer, and like I said, going back to the first film, it didn't do well. It lost so much money at the box office. So obviously it's took a long time, and you have to separate yourself from that. I think as for the audience, I feel like you have to separate yourself from, you need from that negative baggage. And that's what that was. That film was a negative baggage because it had so much, of money lost. I mean, we're not talking $1 million. We're talking tens and tens and tens of millions, maybe even up to $100 million if you include marketing. I mean, this film did not do good at all. But now just to note, the Wachowskis are not involved. Now, if they were, I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not too excited. But like you said, I mean, you brought up a good point that, this is, a chance to revitalize the Speed Racer IP, and you done touched on, Apple, they got some great stuff going on right now. Morning Show, Ted Lasso, they got a lot of great stuff. So we're in the streaming wars. I mean, we'll be in the streaming wars for several years to come for sure. But at this point, I feel like they're just trying to get IP. Yeah, I mean, everybody's just fighting for IP right now. So for Speed Racer, it's something kind of new. It's fresh. It's kind of something that kind of, bodes well to audiences like you and me. I mean, you and me, like this is our playground. This is the type of stuff that you and me are interested in. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like the movie. It being a series, I think works better. However, Fitzgerald, talented writer, filmmaker, and I believe the other one was Hiram Martinez. Again, if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. But like I said, I think you hit it very well that, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and see where we go from there. But I don't know.
I mean, to your point, though,
yeah.
Sorry. To your point,
no, you're good.
I think that's, some things just don't translate well to movies.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. Some
Right.
things just don't translate. They're going to be better as a series.
Well, it's execution.
And I think that this is something.
Right.
Yeah.
The premise can be there, and something like this can work. I mean, anything can work. I mean, heck, Disney, Pixar was able to make a movie about talking toys when an adult or child would walk out of a room. So, and we had the Lego movie. I think that was Warner Brothers. We have a Lego movie made out of building toy blocks, and if they can make a compelling, entertaining movie out of something like that, you can make one out of everything. Now, this is a franchise that did fail live action, yes, but given Apple, they have probably the most money out of all the streaming services, maybe combined. So as big of an empire as Disney is, Apple is certainly up there. So I'm going to give it a shot. I actually am. I will definitely tune in and check it out. Again, there's no director attached, but we will see where it goes. I don't know. I'm going to leave it to you all. What do y'all think about this Speed Racer? Are you a fan of the original series? Are you a fan of the movie? I've got some friends I know personally that really, really enjoyed that movie. Wasn't for me, visually fantastic, but it didn't work well. Didn't work well at the box office at all. But drop your comments down below and we'll move on to the next topic here. So, all right, my friend. So haven't really had a lot of DC news lately. We've been hearing news about Blue Beetle. It was going to HBO Max for some time. Now we did hear recently that they changed their mind, thank God, and is going to a theatrical release. So in that, we got our first set photo leak. Now, this isn't official photos, but this comes to us from Just Jared. Here we got some first look at the costume as, oh my God, I'm going to mispronounce this name, man. I'm going to let you pronounce it, but I think it's pronounced as, no disrespect here. I just can't say words. I don't speak English, but
It's Xolo.
Xolo.
Yeah,
Can you pronounce the last name?
Maridueña.
Maridueña. So I apologize. I know that's their name, and I want to respect that. I really do. I just have trouble with names. I trip over that so much. But you know him from Cobra Kai. If he looks familiar, me personally, not a fan of Cobra Kai. It's just something not my thing, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's a horrible show, just not for me. But Wes over here, he enjoys Cobra Kai, so I'm
great.
sure. I'm sure he's very excited to see him in this role as Blue Beetle, and it's a new character. I mean, this is a character that DC fans have been waiting to see. I don't know much about the character, kind of similar how when in Moon Knight, I knew the general basis of the character, but I don't know all the mythology. I don't know the lore. I don't know anything like that. So all I know is it's a Latino actor, if I'm not mistaken, or I'm sorry, a Latino character who possesses these abilities and is then the Blue Beetle. So, Wes, you see these set photos. I'm gonna send it to you, man. Before I give my thoughts on it, what do you think about these photos?
Okay, so first off, I just want to say Xolo is a great actor. I do really like Cobra Kai, just because that was like my childhood, Cobra Kai and all that.
Yeah.
The Next Karate Kid, all that.
He is great in
I
Cobra Kai.
really,
Just want to say,
no, he's a great actor. Just seeing these set photos, man. To be honest with you, one of my favorite series that I've been watching, that I can't wait till the new season comes out, is Titans. And this gives me a really big. I mean, it makes me think of he could play in Titans. On the HBO Max show. It looks like that. You know what I'm saying? It's got that concept to it where it's kind of new age, kind of younger, type of style. And the thing is like this character it's basically a scarab that's from an alien type thing that creates this shield that's the Blue Beetle. That's pretty much the premise of it. So, but I think that I'm very excited because I really do like him as an actor. I think that he's going to go a long ways because he's super young, but he's very good at what he does, man. I mean, the stuff that he does in Cobra Kai has definitely helped him out to get this role, I'm sure. So, because he's doing his own stunts and doing stuff like that, if I read the article right, he's excited because he gets to do his own stunts because of Cobra Kai, man. And like I said, I really enjoy him as an actor, but I'm intrigued by this Blue Beetle thing. So because I don't really know a lot about it, but I'm probably going to give it a shot for sure, So.
Yeah,
anyway, I mean, what are your thoughts on it, though?
So I was actually that was going to be my next question to you was, do you think, you're such a fan of his in Cobra Kai, you've been more exposed to him than I've been, you kind of already answered that, but my question was going to be, do you think that this is the right actor for the gig? I mean, obviously he's talented, he's got his fan base for sure, but my question was, do you think, knowing what you've seen him as a performer, could he pull something like a superhero character off? You've already kind of answered that as yes, but here we're talking about the photos themselves. Going back to that, look, I'm not going to lie. So here's my thoughts on it. I have two opinions on this. Opinion number one, I hear a lot of people talk about set photos like they're bad, which, let's be honest, they are. If you see a project that's not edited and not in post-production, it's going to look horrible. It's going to look god-awful. Do you remember those Shazam leaked set photos from Shazam with Zachary Levi? And how people were like, he looks like he's got marshmallows and pillows up in his sleeves and making them. I'm like, dude, have you not seen Zachary Levi? He's a big dude. Wait for post-production. Wait for the final product. And guess what? When it came out, did you hear anybody complain about the way he looked? I didn't.
Nope.
I didn't. Set photos look horrible. We've seen the same thing with Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. Is people are like, oh my God, look how trashy that suit looks. And it's like, guys, it's a behind the scenes set photo that someone snapped a picture of. And you know what I mean? So yes, it's going to look terrible. That being said, that leads into my second opinion. Although it does look trash, it does. I mean, obviously there's going to be, I'm being too harsh. It doesn't look trash. What I mean is this is not what it's going to look like in the final product. This is not what it's going to look like on screen. There's obviously going to be some CGI. Now, I'm sure they're going to use as much practical as possible for sure. But that being said, I mean, we got a shot here with his helmet off. We got a shot there with his helmet on. And by the way, look at this guy in the background in that first picture. You see his Pym shirt. It's got a little Hank Pym Marvel shirt there. I thought that was kind of obviously a crew member, but how funny would it be seeing him in the theatrical guy? That'd be hilarious. But I mean, the actor, like you said, I think he's going to be great. How does the suit look, though? It's really what we're really basing our whole topic on here is how does it look? What is our thoughts on it? You seem to dig it, and I do as well. I mean, it doesn't look trash. It looks fairly good.
Well, the thing is, like you say, it looks like trash, and the thing is, like for me, I'm already visualizing this in
its final form.
A thing called in a thing like Titans. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in that kind of world.
You've been in a little bit of film, so you're just like, man, it doesn't look right. You know what I mean? And to me, I'm like, this looks amazing.
No. and it does. Yes. And what I mean by it looks trash is I don't want people to. People need to manage expectations here because the reason I said it looks like trash, it really wasn't really based on the suit itself. It's really just, look, this is not how it's going to look like on screen. So I guess what I'm getting at was don't set your expectations up of what you see here in these photos because it's not realistic. These are not what it's going to look like. Although he does look, I mean, I'm a fan of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I am. I own several Pop toys. I may or may not have pre-ordered the 6-figure bundle from Sideshow. I love the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This character suit looks like a Power Ranger. It really does. If you would have told me this was a Power Ranger villain in the upcoming Power Ranger season, whatever season 48 that they're on or whatever, I'd be like, sure, it looks, yes, that is a villain. But when it comes to character designs, character costumes, it really doesn't matter as long as, look, the show, and we've talked about this before. I think we talked about this in our Thor Love and Thunder official trailer breakdown, which you can check the link in the description below. But we talked about this before where a good or bad suit is not going to change how the movie is. A good suit's not going to make the movie good, nor a bad suit's going to make the movie bad. It all comes down to script, the story, the characters, the actors, all of that good stuff. Black Lightning, in the CW show, that was a horrible suit. There was a few Flash suits that looked terrible, but the suits don't make the show or movie good. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't. And I think people get like that. They're like, oh my God, it looks terrible. That means the movie's going to suck. It's like, dude, really? So I don't know, man. I think it looks fine. I think it's serviceable enough. I think it's going to look great on screen. I think under the new direction of Zaslav over at Discovery, Warner Brothers is under new leadership. He's been ripping some executives over there, so maybe we're going to see some things happening. We're going to see some great creative decisions come down the line. I think we're in for a treat, and I believe that's why they ended up going for a theatrical release instead of HBO Max. I mean, I know Max needs their content, obviously, but movies like this, comic book like properties like this, Peacemaker, a WandaVision, that stuff's different. That's designed to go on Disney Plus and HBO Max. But when you have a movie, put that out, take that risk, man. Put it out. I'll be there to see it. I don't know much about the character, but I like the actor. I like the people involved in the project. I'm going to go watch. I will buy tickets to see this movie. And this suit looks great, too, man. Yeah.
And that being said, I mean, let's leave it up to them. Let's let them let you guys tell us what you guys think. We want to hear what I want to hear what you guys think about this new movie coming out, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And everything like that.
Yeah.
So, what we got next on the board?
All right, man. So with that out of the way, we're going to move on to topic number 3 here. So you and we've kind of been divisive over our MCU Disney Plus projects. Just right quick, my favorite so far has been WandaVision. Moon Knight is a close second. If they would have nailed the finale of Moon Knight, it may have even rivaled WandaVision. I liked, and you know how much I wax rhapsodic about WandaVision. I love WandaVision so much. But Moon Knight came close. All the other shows, I didn't think they were bad. I didn't hate them. I hated the Hawkeye finale. I didn't hate all the other shows, but they felt very subpar. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought it was okay. I mean, I thought it tried to tell way too many plot lines, and I think you can agree to that. It tried to tell a lot of different plots. I mean, it really did.
Like Civil War is not even, or the Captain America. That's not even on my list. So,
well, see, there you go. But Loki, same thing. It started off strong, and then it kind of had a weak last couple episodes. But it is what it is. It's fine. And then Hawkeye came and went. I don't want to talk about Hawkeye. And then Moon Knight came out. Loved Moon Knight up until the very end. Didn't know the finale. But we got Miss Marvel coming. And look, I think you're in the same boat with me. I don't know much about the character. I do know that she's fairly new. She ties in with the whole Captain Marvel lore, I believe, as far as my small research goes. And I feel ashamed because I'm a huge comic nut. So that sounds like something I should know. But it's a character that it just didn't really feel right to me. It's kind of similar to Miles Morales. It just wasn't for me. However, I watch Into the Spider-Verse, and now I'm a Miles Morales stan, I guess is what the kids call it these days. Miss Marvel, same way. We've been hearing it's been coming. We got a first trailer. I thought it looked pretty good, pretty interesting. It got a good John Hughes vibe, and it really did. I really liked the tone of the trailers. I really liked the actors involved. I think the actress is phenomenal. I think she's going to bring everything she's got. Well, we just got news today that critics got an early 2-week early access to the first couple episodes. I think they got access to the first 2, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But we got some general reactions. Let's go ahead and take a look on comic book. This comes to us from Comic Book News here. We got our Miss Marvel first reactions that arrive online. We're not going to read through them at length. We're just going to kind of read through a couple here, if that's okay. Here we got one from Laura. I've never loved a character like I do Kamala Khan. She's charismatic, smart, funny, and adorable. Her family is so lovable. The dynamic is amazing. The animation and graphics are so fun. Into the Spider-Verse vibes. Kamala Khan is going to be so huge. I freaking love Mrs. Marvel so much. So that's a first reaction there. Very positive. This one comes to us from Unzela Khan. If I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. Got the chance to watch the first 2 episodes of Miss Marvel before it's released, and I'm dying to watch the rest. Pakistanis, Muslims, South Asians will be so pleasantly surprised. First time I've seen meaningful representation in a Marvel film, and that's been important lately. And I kudos to Disney and Marvel for going into that representation route. We've seen a lot in Eternals with, you had a wide variety of casts. I mean, you had all kinds of different actors of all different walks of life. Even had a deaf actor working there, and I can't remember her name, and forgive me, but I thought she was great in Eternals. And, MCU has been kind of going to this more representation field, and I think that's very important, and I think that's what they should do. I mean, we had 20 many movies of straight white males, and it's
look at Echo.
Come on, look at Echo. We got that coming, so very excited to see that. Didn't like her in Hawkeye. I thought that was a very dissatisfied taste, but
we're not talking about Hawkeye.
I will watch the show. Moving forward, here we got Mariam Ahmad. So I got screeners for Miss Marvel's episodes 1 and 2. I have many thoughts, so scrolling through my spoiler-free reactions. We're just going to read the first one here. First off, Aman Vellani as Kamala Khan might be one of the best casting choices of the MCU has made. Seriously, she truly embodies all of Kamala's enthusiasm and optimism. I'm so looking forward to her interactions with other heroes in her future in the MCU. And one thing I want to touch on here is the MCU has killed it. Ever since Robert Downey Jr.'s entrance as Tony Stark, the MCU has done a very good job. I've yet to see a bad casting for for the MCU. And to me, this is no surprise. But again, we're hearing a lot about the tone of the film. That's good. We're hearing a lot of good things about the script. We're going to do one or two more here. This comes to us from Preeti Sheber. Mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. I've seen the first episode of Miss Marvel, and spoiler free, I love this show. It is everything I could have wanted. I say this a lot about our girl Kamala Khan, but I've literally never felt so seen. But like me specifically, Amon Vellani is a delight. Put her in everything. So, Wes, man, we got our first reactions. Everybody, and the rest of these, feel free to go to comicbook.com there. Thank you to you guys. Overwhelmingly positive. I mean, we're hearing good things. I'm gonna ask you, man, do these positive reactions bode well with you? Does this make you more excited? Do you feel about the same? What are your general thoughts?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. Whenever I first seen the excuse me, I'm sorry. Whenever I first seen the actual like trailer, I wasn't really impressed, and that may be a like a not very well taken, but I wasn't really impressed. I was just like, but I don't know the character. You know what I mean? Now, that being said, I don't know a lot about the comic at all. But seeing these comments and seeing all the positive things that are coming out of it, we obviously know that Disney knows how to cast people. We know this from all of their films that they've done and series and everything else. But it does excite me a little bit more because I was really hoping that it wouldn't get a very bad review from people because you know if you've got that many people giving you positive reviews, something's got to be going right, and it may not be for some people, but I feel like with those positive reviews, I'm more apt to watch it and actually want to be interested in it. Because after that first one, I was like, I may just not, whatever. So, but now seeing these comments, I'm like, okay, this is really good. If they're representing people the right way, and doing the things that we know Disney can do whenever it comes to pulling on people's heartstrings and doing stuff like that, then yeah, like I'm all for it. So to, to sum up your question, like I'm more excited than what I was whenever I first watched the trailer.
I think that's important is, it really goes to show how important this character is to a lot of people. And again, representation is important. And, this is one of those things too that you really have to be careful of how, you want to take risks. Absolutely. And that's totally fine. I'm not a big it's not that I'm not a fan of the character, I just don't know the character, and that's nobody's fault, but mine. I mean, it's no, fault of Disney or anything, but when they announced this, I was like, okay, Kevin Feige, he's earned the benefit of the doubt, and they have to take a new direction if they're gonna, they could have ended after Endgame. They could have been like, you know what, we're gonna reboot the MCU, blah 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 blah, but they're not. They need to introduce characters. We've lost Captain America, well, Chris Evans, Captain America. We've lost Tony Stark, Thor. I mean, I predict he's going to be around yet a while. We got Mark Ruffalo coming up in She-Hulk that we're going to be talking about here in a few days. A lot of good stuff for that. But with I already know what you're gonna say. Yeah. But we got Mark Ruffalo coming. I mean, so we have the two originals back. I mean, Black Widow's dead. Hawkeye's doing off playing farm. But I mean, yeah, we're gonna see Hawkeye again. Yes, we're gonna see Ruffalo here soon as Hulk. We're gonna see Thor coming up here soon in Thor: Love and Thunder. So yes, we do have some originals for sure, but you have to introduce new characters. And one of the problems has been kind of moving into phase 4 of the MCU, even though, the phases are just arbitrary numbers, they really mean nothing, but it does give you an idea of okay, what films are in what phase. Well, we're out of phase 1, 2, and 3. We're now in 4. We're well into 4 now. I mean, several years, and obviously COVID kind of shifted everything. So, COVID notwithstanding, we're several years in phase 4. So they're going to have to ramp up these characters and get us involved. I mean, we got Moon Knight, we got a couple characters in WandaVision who we're going to see soon, and Agatha Harkness, she's got her own spinoff show coming soon. Probably going to be, I think, releasing sometime next year, early 2024 is the last report I read. So them stepping forward with this, I think this was in the plan for a while, because if you remember when Kevin Feige announced the Captain Marvel sequel, I think it's titled The Marvels, Kamala Khan's going to be in it, who we're talking about right now. We got Monica Rambeau showing up, presumably, and obviously Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. So, and by the way, I want to state this right quick. Don't be surprised if we don't see Brie Larson's Captain Marvel in this show. I think she's going to make a heavy cameo in this. Now, I don't know nothing like that, but I do believe that, just because of her ties with Captain Marvel, with Kevin Feige and what he has said, yeah, I really would not be surprised at all. I would love it, actually. I'm a huge fan of Brie Larson's Captain Marvel.
I think that's a huge possibility.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and what better way to be like, oh, once fans see, and maybe she doesn't show up. I'm just saying, what if she shows up, fans are going to be like, oh, and they're going to be excited. But what if little Marvel tie in there? But I don't know. I mean, look. These reactions, for me, they do get me a little excited. They certainly got me more excited than I was yesterday, than before I read these reactions. So I'm pretty excited. I haven't seen one negative thing. I'm sure obviously someone's not going to like it, and that's fine. But us hearing, the tones there, the actress playing her is amazing. Vellani, I think was her last name. She's fantastic. Hearing good things about her, hearing great things about the direction, the tone, the style, hearing lots of good things about it. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it to you all. What do you all think about this news? What do you think about the overall reactions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right. So we are moving on to topic number 4. This is exciting for me. This is something that I've been looking forward to, something that made me fall in love with movies. And that was Star Wars, now premiering 45 years ago. Oh my God, 45. It's so what Star Wars was able to do. Now, we're not going to do editorial piece or anything like that. We're basically just kind of, celebrating its 45th year anniversary and kind of talking about what Star Wars has meant to Wes and I moving forward in our adult life, our childhood, all that kind of stuff, and what it means to us. Just a quick recap for me. I'm trying not to get emotional. But Star Wars was really special to me. These 3 films. Growing up, my dad would show me these films, and I would watch them, on repeat on VHS, and I loved them. And that was all we didn't have Phantom Menace. We didn't have Force Awakens. We didn't have Rogue One. All we had was this trilogy. And I remember watching these films, my earliest childhood memories in a theater was watching the Lord of the Rings films. My first movie to the theater, I don't remember it, but my first movie to the theater was Lion King. But my first memory, my earliest childhood memory was watching Lord of the Rings in the theater. Why I remember that, I don't know. But, and Lord of the Rings is my favorite movies of all time, over Star Wars. But Star Wars has a special place in my heart because of what it made me fall in love with movies. I remember watching them as a kid at home before Lord of the Rings came out. Now, even though it was my first, memory watching a movie in the theater was Lord of the Rings, Star Wars was my first memory watching anything. Watching these films was very special to me and what they've meant to films moving forward. We wouldn't have the MCU if it wasn't for Star Wars. We wouldn't have movies like Harry Potter if this didn't exist. I mean, Star Wars really set the path for what Hollywood is today. And, it's now 45 years. We got Obi-Wan coming here in just a couple days. Very excited for that. But this trilogy has meant so much to me and millions of other people across the globe, and how it brings people together. I love this movie. It's, not perfect, but I think it's it revitalized what storytelling could be and still holds up to this day. And it's incredible. But Wes, just quick thoughts, man. What do you think about Star Wars and kind of what it means to you? I kind of already have a feeling of what you're going to say.
Nah, man. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I didn't know that it meant so much to you, man. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, so here's the deal. I'm going to agree with you and say that yes, Star Wars set the path for things that we have today.
Right.
MCU, DC, all these movies, I like they set the tone for all this stuff. But Secret Time, Wes didn't watch these till he was in his 20s. Unpopular opinion. Um,
Nothing wrong with
I
that. Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, the unpopular opinion. It's not my gig, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I understand and I know that it has a huge impact on film itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I respect that. I don't think that they're bad films. I don't think that it's trash. It's nothing like that.
Sure
It's
for you.
just not something that I like to watch. Now,
Right.
I do like I have been watching Mandalorian. I've been watching like all these things. It is interesting. I do like it. It's just, those fantasy sci-fi films like that just I didn't grow up with that, and that's okay. Like
Right.
we all
Right.
have our own personal opinions,
It
you know
just
what I'm
hit
saying?
us
But it touched
certain
my
ways.
heart
Yeah.
because it meant so much to you, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't want you to think that I don't think that they're trash movies. It's just I didn't really grow up watching those. So
Right.
but I do think that it had, I mean, and obviously everybody knows it had an amazing impact on what
Huge.
film is today. If you go back and you watch what Star Wars was doing compared to the other movies that were coming out at that time, bar none above the
It
rest.
was nominated Academy
So,
Award for Best Picture that year.
correct.
When it came
Correct.
out in 77. I mean, this literally changed the game. Now, I don't know if it was this, I could be wrong on my history here. I obviously wasn't around back then. But I can't remember if it was this movie or Jaws, but it spawned the
Youngin.
term back in the olden days. I don't remember if it might have been Jaws. Something tells me it was Jaws, but it might have even been this film. I don't know. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it was this or that film, this or Jaws, or it might have even been a different one, who spawned the term blockbuster because people had to literally line up around blocks to see this film. And so, that coming from that, how much money it's made, I think it's made over $1 billion with, re-releases and, things like that. But this film, I mean, if it was announced to be in the theaters tomorrow, I'd be there. This film it truly, truly speaks a lot. It's not my favorite Star Wars film. I think it's great. I think it's freaking awesome. And by the way, you can actually find my TikTok here, Voice of Film. Just simply at Voice of Film here on TikTok. I actually have a pinned post on my ranking the 11 live action Star Wars films. And spoiler alert, this is in the top 3. So just letting you guys know. But that's not to say it's a bad film. The prequels, I have my opinions about the prequels. They're not so great, and that's okay. But there's some things in them that I really, really like. And I thought it was really good to talk to you about this because I know you're not a big fan of that. Now, but it's all
saying I'm
subjective.
not a big
Yeah.
fan, like I've got a Disney trip planned in December. Like, don't think I'm not going to go make a droid and also have my own lightsaber.
Oh,
It's
for
happening.
sure.
Like,
For
I
sure.
enjoy the movies. It's just not my cup of
Just
tea. I
not your
don't.
thing,
I
yeah.
wouldn't pick that over watching something else. Like like it's not like, hey, you got a choice to watch Star Wars or you can watch all of Better Call Saul. Probably gonna
You
watch
watch Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
And,
Like
yeah, I
it's
mean,
it's just my own thing.
and the reason it makes me emotional, and I won't do that again. I'm sorry, but the
No, don't
reason,
apologize, man. It was good. It
yeah,
was raw.
no, well,
Emotions.
the reason I love this trilogy and why it's so special is even though they're not, I mean, they're my second set of favorite films. I mean, I kind of include all 3, the Star Wars original films, all kind of in one. I kind of cheat there, but I believe the Lord of the Rings trilogy is a better trilogy and better movies than Star Wars. That's just my own personal opinion, and that's okay. But I do
But
have
I
my
agree with you there,
right.
though.
Do you
Like,
with the Lord of
I
the Rings being
loved the
better?
Lord of the Rings movies.
Right.
Loved them. Went to go see all of them in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, I love those. You know what I
And
mean?
they're fantastic, and to me they're my favorite. And the Star Wars, the original trilogy, is right below Lord of the Rings. Or, I mean, yeah, right below Lord of the Rings. But these films have a special place because it's my earliest childhood memory. With my dad, we would watch this on VHS, and just I remember having the pulling them out of the dust covers and putting them in, and having to rewind and do all that kind of stuff. I just remember that. I mean, I can remember, you know, I can almost visualize it. That's how much I remember that. And I'm 29, and that was back in the early 90s or late 90s, early mid 90s, late 90s is when I remember that. So it's something incredibly
Uh-huh.
special to me. And the fact that it's on its 45th year anniversary, it's something special and will hold as one of the best films, one of the best, franchises ever to be laid to screen. And,
By
I kind
far.
of, by you talking about these films, is kind of how I feel about Harry Potter. Like, Harry Potter has its fans, and I don't hate Harry Potter. I've seen the first several films. I watched them when I was a kid and was like, okay, I can dig this, but I didn't feel the urge to rush out to watch the rest. You see what I'm saying? So I
Right.
kind of
No,
feel
no,
the same
I
way
get
like you
it.
do. And I enjoy The Mandalorian. I do. I'm just tired of every Star Wars project recently going, oh, hey, you remember the original trilogy? Hey, you remember this? Hey, you remember the cantina? Hey, you remember the same bay that Millennium Falcon flew out of? Hey, do you remember blah, 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 blah? It's like, dude, can we move on? Star Wars is a big place. I mean,
Uh-huh.
according to the first line of every single film, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, how long does it take for a ship to go to point A to point B? Very quick. But that's because of light speed. That's because of their technology. There are different worlds in galaxies, across this
I
plane,
mean,
So
by far
it's a big
the
place.
greatest. I mean, for me, the greatest trilogy has to be Twilight. So,
Oh my god!
um, I'm messing with you, bro.
Stop the presses. Stop the presses. Put it on record. Twilight is Wes's favorite trilogy. But no, I mean, I really do legitimately love this original trilogy. I do. I'm just going to be straight up. The Last Jedi is and that was a Disney made Star Wars movie. The Last Jedi is my favorite Star Wars film. I have a lot of issues with The Last Jedi, but the nature of what it is, I can't explain it, but it's my favorite Star Wars movie. Now, I do
And
believe
see, I
there's,
really enjoyed
yeah,
that film. I
and
really
it's my
did. Like,
favorite. It
like,
honestly, that was such a Luke thing to do. Him to face off with Kylo Ren at the end, being a Force project. That was such a Luke. Anyway, that being said, going back to time back with this original trilogy, and Empire Strikes Back, we're going to creep up on its 45th here soon, and but with A New Hope, you're introduced with so many characters. You're introduced to one, arguably the greatest villain to ever be laid to screen in Darth Vader. It goes to show you how, there are comics still being made of Darth Vader. We're about to see Darth Vader again in Obi-Wan. Now they're going to break canon with A New Hope, and that's completely fine. I'm okay with that. When Vader comes up to Obi-Wan and that awesome confrontation, when I left you, I was but the learner, but now I am the master. And Obi-Wan's
oh yeah,
response, only a master of evil. Like, that was so good, and I can't wait to see Vader again on screen. It's not going to be the big screen. I hope it did, but seeing him come back in Rogue One at the end and wreck those rebels, dude, that was awesome. But this is the film that spawned an entire generations of Star Wars fans, and you can, any kid and many adults love this original trilogy, love this film. And to me it's just something special. But I'm gonna lay it to you guys, what do y'all think about Star Wars? What does it mean to you? Drop your favorite moments from the original trilogy or A New Hope down below in the comments, and let us know your thoughts. And thank you guys for joining us. No, the video ran quite long, but we had a lot of topics to talk about. I feel like we had some good discussions here. I think this was very fun. Again, with me, Wes Rathbone. Hey man, where can people find you, sir?
you can find me at Wes Rathbone 86 on Twitter. Guys, leave a like, comment, subscribe to us, man. Just two friends doing this for fun. I think it's been great. So
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this, and I hope you guys are too.
All right, man. And again, thank you to all who have joined us. We're going to pin our first official video. We done a reaction review of the first official Thor: Love and Thunder trailer. Again, link down in the description below, and you can find me simply at Voice of Film on Twitter, and TikTok is where I post my main content. Got daily videos going on there. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it, and we will see y'all in the next video.